Hello, my name is Linda Sheridan. I'm managing partner with Snyder and Company. We're a CPA firm in Lancaster, Ohio, and have been working with Craig and Annette and the Bougie Action team now for about 4 years, I think. Have to say that it's an honor to be able to give a little testimonial to what a difference they've made in not only my firm, but my life personally, my partners, and the lives of our team. By far, we were not broken. We were a good firm. John Snyder had started the firm when he broke away from a larger accounting firm. He kind of went through the whole merge mania. Found out that when you didn't have common values and common culture with your partners, it was best not to have partners. So he broke away in '92 and then started his own kind of smaller firm, kind of back to the roots. Brought me in '98 as just kind of a young CPA, younger than I am now. Brought me in, and I was just part of the succession plan that he was starting. So a few years later, we brought Vic Christopher in, and then made him partner as well, as he proved that he had a lot of the same qualities, same values. So we had a real solid partnership. We really did. And we had a great culture. We had a good culture because of John. John had, through his career, he was truly different. He was humble. He was, lived by the golden rule. And so he laid a really good foundation. So by no means were we in trouble. But as we were buying John out and he stepped away from the operations, and Vic and I were doing a pretty decent job with that. But John passed away unexpectedly in 2013, and suddenly found myself to be at the head of the ship with no safety net, no John there behind me to kind of bound things by. And I really realized how much I didn't know about leadership. I had been studying it, and I've been studying it myself personally in a very amateur way for years. But the implementation of it and really training up to it was different. So I had sought a couple of different sources, and we always use consultants in the accounting industry. They tend to be, cut from the same cloth and talk about the same stuff, none of which was really relevant to us. I mean, it had a pretty short shelf life. So, but we were open to input. We were open to coaching. So the idea of getting into, kind of the bougie thing, and it was just God's hand that brought us together, and I fully acknowledge that. But the ability to recognize, the humility to recognize that we didn't know what we didn't know and we needed help was transformational. So that was the start. And my younger partner, Vic, he's wonderful, doesn't have kind of the same vision and kind of maybe that upward look that I do. So for him, it was a leap of faith as well. He was kind of more faith in me and that we would try this, see how it works. And even, a year ago, it was still kind of a trial thing. But now I think, especially through this COVID situation, we all realize how great it has been to have this team in place and to have this foundation. Because, the journey we went through, we started with a culture initiative. It's one thing that I had seen at the hospital I served on the board. We brought the Disney Institute in to really solidify the culture, and that was a big spend. But it was worth it. And, you could see how taking that culture and solidifying it was transformational to the operations. And so we did the same thing with Bougie. They came in and did a cultural initiative with us. And we had a great culture, but it was in a state of flux, and it was in a state of new leadership. And, people had backed away from the table because they really didn't know. And they didn't have confidence in Vic and I like they had confidence in John. And frankly, I didn't have confidence in me like I had confidence in John. So, and that shows. You can't fake it till you make it in this world. It has to be authentic. It has to be genuine. So what we were able to do through that initial exercise or that initial cultural retreat was come up with our 9 culture points. And it was more important the process that we went through to get the buy-in and to get the sign off and get everybody to really operationalize that. And that's been the foundation, it truly has. After the success of that, I looked at my partner. I said, hey, we need to do more. And so we then, at that point, we engaged with Action Coach on a monthly client basis. And we started off slow, thinking, well, we'll just do, the once a month thing and see how that goes. Well, and to be honest, if I could go back and change anything, it's that. Maybe not. I guess sometimes you have to you just have to build up to it. And that's what we had to do. So I feel like our path has been very elongated because we have had, I think, some resistance to the idea, whether it's spiritually or not spiritually, but theoretically or even financially. But after the first year or so, and Annette and I, kind of talked about where we needed to go from here, we both agreed that we needed to step it up. Instead of spending less or doing less, we needed to do more. So we really bumped it up, and Annette has just been a game changer. And Craig has been great trying to share kind of the business development side of the world. And our problem had always been we were hard. We worked hard. We really did. We had a good team. They worked hard, but we kept, we kept working harder to make a little bit more money. And so the graphs would show, more time, more hours, work harder, make a little bit more, work harder, make a little bit more. We were getting tired. And it got to the point that's not sustainable. And I kept saying we need to work smarter, we need to work smarter, but we didn't know how to work smarter. And that's when we really began to see things change after a couple of years. And we lifted up a management team. We're only 13 persons firm, so we're not that big. But that structure, that was critical. And then we began to coach with them. And so now we're coaching with not just, myself and with Vic as owners, but with our management team. And that has been the piece that's really building the momentum. So when we pulled our 2019 numbers together, it was fabulous. It was the most profitable year we've ever had since I've been there. Our gross number was up. We made more money on the gross line, especially on the bottom line. The bottom line was huge. And we worked less hours because that's our metric that we measure. Our KPI, we call it our utilization rate, is total revenue divided by total hours. And as an accounting firm, we don't bill by the hour. So we're already very different from our peers, which makes it hard to benchmark data across the normal spectrums for accounting firms. But this utilization rate has been our key metric for a long time since we went away from the hourly billing model. But that really lifted the team up when they saw those numbers and they saw that, wow, we did make more money. And they had felt it because we had bonused it along the way. We still have a long way to go. But that was so motivating that they began to realize that this really does make a difference. And part of our process has been to survey the team, through an anonymous type survey. And Annette's done that the last couple of years. And we've gotten comments like, I don't understand all this bougie stuff, but it's working, so keep it up. So the staff have really bought into it. And now that we've worked with the leadership team and starting to work with the managers, we're starting to see, that filtration of the energy and the concepts and the learnings more so than just at the partner level. And that's important. You got to go at this with the long haul. This isn't something that's a one and done. It's not a try it this year and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. And that's the biggest thing. You've got to try to encourage people, and business owners especially, one, have the humility to understand you will benefit from this coaching. And I just tell people the best athletes in the world, the LeBron James, they have the best trainers. That's why they're the best. It's not because of not just because of their natural talent or their hard work. It's because they got great trainers. And this is no different. And I like I said, we've had other trainers or consultants along the way, but they didn't have the toolkit. They didn't have the whole approach. And this is a very holistic thing. And it takes a long time of just reiterating stuff to realize. And the be, do, have thing really, really connected this year. So we are really, truly being different. And now, in the midst of tax season with this COVID situation, I can't even begin to fathom what this would have been like had we not been trained up to this level. But it was smooth. The teams, they really trusted us. We went home to work from home. Most of the teams at home right now working. And it's been a very smooth transition. We've had a couple bumps along the way. Communication definitely is always our continuing challenge. How do we communicate better? But the effectiveness and what we're getting done and the ability to handle the new stuff coming at us that we didn't even know was 3 weeks ago, we didn't even see this train wreck coming. So to be able to be that responsive and to keep everybody's attitudes up, it's been just a game changer. So I can't recommend it high enough. And I know I've been kind of exposed to the action coach thing in the past, not that significantly, but I would say that the team approach that Bougie uses makes the difference too. It's not just the action toolkit. That's part of it. It's what you do with it though. That really has made the difference. And that's where, they're not just, consultants that we use. They're part of the team. And it's funny because that's how we try to treat with our clients. With our small clients, we try to be part of their team because we don't know all the answers, but we know kind of how to direct them and how to go find them. And we have referral sources. And so being part of that with Bougie was, in fact, that was our first connection with them, was to be potentially just a referral source. And then we realized how much we needed it too. So now I'm not only a referral source, but a great testimony as well. So can't share it enough. Always happy to talk one-on-one with anybody who wants to, learn more about our journey. But again, I'm honored, I'm humbled that Craig and Nev have asked us to do this, and that they continue to be there for us. So that's all. Thank you much.